Glenn, tell me a little bit about what's going on with NOI.
We have a lot of initiatives, as you could imagine, for a consulting firm. We pretty much touch anything and everything in the value chain for real estate. But the one thing that we find is kind of unique these days in terms of what we do is we focus on treasury and banking, which is a critical function of every real estate company. There's a lot of complexity there. So we're seeing a lot of activity there. And what's kind of fun about it is, unlike most consulting initiatives, this one actually delivers big time in terms of the gains for our customers.
Why?
If you think about real estate, from a bank's perspective, they love real estate companies because there's a lending relationship associated with each property, each entity associated with it. There's a checking account associated with it, and there's lots of services that they use: lockbox, remote deposit capture, positive pay, and they generate a lot of fees. So if I'm even a small to medium-sized real estate company with 100 properties, let's say, that means I have 100 bank accounts. On average, those bank accounts generate $400 a month in fees. So even for a small real estate company, that's $40,000 a month of operating expense, and that's a big nut. If you don't really see it on a budget because it's hidden in a bank statement, but it's a very, very big number. So when we drill in on that, and we look for opportunities to optimize the banking relationships, in a lot of ways, we're able to get our customers very slowly, but it takes a little time, but surely begin to understand that there's a significant spend going on there and an opportunity to reduce that in a very tangible, quantifiable way.
I think a lot of people think they can look at a spreadsheet, look at a budget, and kind of chip it down and chip away at it. How does NOI, what's one of the more surprising ways you come at this problem?
I think it's in overcoming the skepticism that they have when we first walk in and say, oh my gosh, there's so much opportunity. Because what the banks like to do is they'll say to their customer, you know what, you're such a great customer, we like you guys so much that we're going to give you a piece of pie. And that pie is we're going to give you reduced rates and you're going to get all these extra services and it's not going to cost you anything. So the banks have a very unique situation where they get their clients thinking that what they're getting is for free. What the clients don't realize is that piece of pie that they're getting could be this big. So our job is to slowly, gradually help them to understand the way the bank's perspective is. The bank's job as a business fundamentally is to make as much money as they can on those deposits of their clients and generate as much fees as they can. And the relationship manager's job is to increase that every year. We come in and counter that and we say stop. And we, from our perspective, are able to do a comparative analysis on that that says, wait a second, you're giving them 80 basis points. The guy down the street, the pizza guy is getting, with half the balances, is getting 120 basis points. Something's off kilter here. So our job is to help better balance the relationship between the client and the bank. And in a lot of cases, for even small to mid-sized real estate companies, we're able to find them gains in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year that they never knew were there.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's astounding.
Do enough people know about this?
They don't. That's why we're here talking right
How
now.
do we, I mean, what's our message to the people at this conference who are going to, you know, someone's going to watch this later if they're not watching it now. What do we need them to know?
What they need to know is that in order to begin to understand what their gross potential might be on their overall bank relationship management situation, is that we get engaged to do this at no cost to them. Right? So we invest the time and the energy to do the analysis, to work with the banks, to sit with the client, to optimize their entire cash and treasury function, and then come up with what we think that gross potential number is. And that's the shock value, right? When they see $1 million a year, they're like, oh my God, how do we get this? And the nice thing about what we do is—
You just paid my CIO.
We paid for a lot of things with
Yeah.
that, right? And it's a feather in everybody's cap, which is nice. And the best part is they don't have to spend or make a decision to go spend 100 grand to find out if something is there.
Right. So how are you getting paid?
We get based on, we get a contingency fee based upon our ability to monetize results for those clients. If we produce quantifiable results that are in the bank account, we get a piece of that for a period of time.
I kind of want you to come just do it for me personally.
Personal's a little tough, but
Yeah.
You can understand even in the news
Yeah.
how the banks are hitting you for ATM fees and overdraft fees. If you think it's bad on the consumer side, it's way worse on the commercial side.
What else are you guys doing at this conference that people can come be part of and also online?
One of the more exciting things that we've launched this year is a product called Process Makes Perfect. And what that does is it takes real estate companies have what I like to call a mosaic of applications, right? Some use Argus, some use Yardi, some will use Resolve, others will use MRI, they'll use Cougar, and they all have a different footprint. So that mosaic's a little different, like a stained glass window. And everything else in between those applications is filled out by the most widely used application in commercial real estate, which is Excel. So they'll take Excel and they'll patch in between all those tiles of applications, integration and reporting, business process. So what we've been able to do with Process Makes Perfect is take SharePoint as a platform, integrate it with those back-end systems, those mosaic applications, and then come out with a framework that is, think of it as a multi-user Excel, I guess is the greatest way to say it. One place to go for all our processes, all the data is integrated. They're not offline boutique spreadsheets all throughout the organization. And over time, you begin to build a common platform for it. And what we really like about it is you don't have to wrap your head around your entire company and 5 years from now what you're going to be. You can take one process, whatever's hurting you at this point in time, attack that, and just go from there. So it's one process at a time.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun.
It sounds aggressive, and it makes sense that this started as a Sopranos episode, and we're...
Exactly, exactly.
Glenn, thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
some stuff about NOI. Where in the floor are you guys located?
We're right across from here, actually, right across from the bar.
Okay, again, great.
Strategic placement.
Location. Thank you very much,
Exactly.
Glenn Murray.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Right.